In spite of the murky condition, Dan fights his way back to the quartz vein that was putting ounces in our sluice box.
We got 1 foot of sand, we got quartz, gravel, that gold coming out of the pay layer.
It's every diver's hardest decision, when to go and when to stay.
I hardly saw gold. I mean, it's just sucking sand and being like, I hope I'm making a living.
But when the gold is good, it can cloud your judgment.
Oh my gosh. There's so much gold there.
And we're testing out our new diver, Ross. We'll see if he has what it takes to become a gold diver in the Bering Sea.
We got a big storm coming in that's gonna blow for like, what, a day or two. The waves aren't big yet, so we're gonna see how much diving we can get in this morning. We're over halfway through June. All that ice flow really took a cut out of our opportunities, so we're making up for lost time and not letting any good dive days go away.
So our cord here on our generator is coming out, and we're gonna have a hard time fixing it if it fully breaks. And it's a little chilly this morning, and this thing's not running so great, and we ran it out of gas yesterday, so we're gonna maybe give it a little bit of preheat with this propane torch, see if we can help it to start and just limp it through the day. If we run out of power, we're gonna have to pull up these anchors by hand, and that's gonna be a really sucky day.
So I actually, I'm sorry guys. I pulled on the rope and then I watched the rope disappear into that hole.
We have no way to recharge our batteries. We rely on our batteries to pull up our anchors. We have all 4 anchors down, and the weather system that's coming in seems to be coming in right now. There's no reason to stay out here longer. We have a broken generator, and the weather's only getting worse.
The guys had to come in for some bad weather, so it's time to go to the harbor and get to work on some much-needed boat repairs. We're just kind of holding the boat in place with the outboards right now, so it's gonna speed up the process. I think I'm loosening it. Yeah, my dry suit ended up being more of a wetsuit, and I'm way too pregnant to be sitting in the freezing harbor water. So I think changing out the transducer in the freezing water is the perfect task for our latest diver recruit, Ross. You wanna take over this super fun?
Yeah, I'll get in the water. You should be able to knock this out pretty quick.
Thanks for taking over. It's not the world's funnest or easiest job.
Sure.
Thanks. Since we just got a brand new GPS, we have to change out the transducer. Meanwhile, Dan is fixing our steering, which has been a huge problem since the beginning of the season. You can't really mine for gold if you can't turn right and left. Also, we just blew more of our budget on a brand new, shiny generator. We have a really exciting announcement for you guys. We have 2 new products on the shelf at beringseatheater.com. The first product I'm going to show you is our digger dirt. This is every gold panner's dream right here. Basically, it's our pay dirt, but bigger and better because it's got this really beautiful, nice and chunky gold in it. 4 grams of real Bering Sea Gold. That's just gorgeous. The next product is our nugget dirt. It's got 3 grams of nuggets from the Bering Sea. Holy smokes, that's amazing. Every piece is a picker. And the best thing is that it's all from our sluice box. There you have it. We have 2 amazing new products, and you can only get them at beringseatheater.com.
All right, after the second storm in June, we're gonna go check out the conditions. It looks borderline, it looks a little swelly, but it's not choppy. It's definitely come down overnight. So it's like 2-foot swell you can go out and set down in, 3-foot swell you can't really, so it's hard to judge from the shore, so we're gonna go take a look at what it looks like. I don't know, I think we should hang out in the harbor and just sort of wait for it to come down more.
We've been here for like 3 hours now.
Rations are running low. Morale is borderline.
The heat is flickering.
We're kind of stuck because it's like we don't want to set up and go home and take a nap because the wind's picking up and there's a southern swell.
Right. So
Yeah.
the real risk is that if other people working on the same lease get out there first, they'll set up their boat in the exact same spot that we want to set up, and that throws us back into prospecting for gold.
So we checked the water again. The swell came down pretty substantially. We were looking at 3-footers before. Now we're looking at 2 or less. Water's calm, and no one's out here, but there's really no reason for us not to go and take a whack at it. Like if we get any kind of visibility, we're working today. So Dan was at home taking a nap, so we left the skip for him, and Ross and I came out here.
I feel pretty good about this dive. I feel good. Crew feels good. The sun's shining. It feels good. A couple of variables to check on, like the waves have come down, but is it all stirred up with muck? Yes, we all know that it's gonna be mucky down there. But is it so mucky that I say I can't dive in this? That's always a tough decision for the diver because you're like, I am greedy, also I'm obligated to be safe. So if it's so dark down there that it's unsafe, I have to like do the right thing and say it's too murky to dive. So try not to let like your wanting gold to affect your ability to make good decisions. You get tempted to lie down there. You're like, how's the visibility? Like, good enough. Can't see anything. Not even sure if I'm holding our nozzle, could be somebody else's.
I cannot even see the nozzle. The visibility down here, it looks like I'm in a cup of curdled milk. It's just the white chunks everywhere. It's like I'm in a snowstorm. The flashlight just makes everything glowing. I can barely see my own hand. This is absolutely not safe for diving. So, I think I should get out of here. It's just a dangerous situation, okay?
Yeah, Roger.
World's shortest dive.
I decided that I'm lowering my standards of what's diveable visibility because we need gold. So as long as stuff's coming up the nozzle, I'm staying down there. We're gonna do everything we can to be safe, but I can't be too choosy right now. Beggars can't be choosers, maybe?
How's it going down there?
Well, I just saw my first piece of gold. We got 1 foot of sand, we got quartz, gravel, that gold coming out of the pay layer. So it's going real good.
Awesome. How's the visibility on the current?
Visibility is like 5 or 6 feet. So we're doing pretty good. The current is strong on the surface, but not so bad down here. Alex is seeing really good gold. We just need a couple more feet. So if you could try lifting the breaker flap, anything you can do to get us forward would be good.
Okay, so Dan needs to get further forward. We're at the very front of our set. We can't pull the anchors and pull ourselves further south or forward. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift, there's a flap behind the sluice box called the anti-thrust, and that breaks the water flow so that it's not pushing the dredge forward. We're gonna lift the anti-thrust or the breaker flap, and it's gonna give us some propulsion forward so we can push more on top of Dan. It's swelly right now, and so if he's extended far out, he's getting yanked back every time the dredge comes up. So we want to try and get right over him so there's some shape in the hose that kind of acts as like a slinky.
Oh man, it's much better. Thank you.
Do you think Ross will be able to get a dive in these conditions?
Yeah, I think Ross can do a dive. It'll be a little dynamic, but yeah, totally.
I was a little bit concerned this morning when we got out here. I didn't really think Dan was going to be able to make a full dive out of it. I'm kind of happy to kind of break out with, you know, a short dive here and kind of get some things figured out, get comfortable in the water, and yeah, we'll kind of have to see how it goes.
Good dive.
What a rodeo. Is it getting
A little nautical down there or what?
Yeah, the hose is tugging.
On the first dive of the season, one of the problems that we ended up having was the hood on the wetsuit. We knew that we needed to have a good amount of vent holes for the hot water system, and the guys had kind of told me that, you know, if the mask isn't set up right with the hood, it'll vent air from the mask into the hood, and it can kind of balloon up. I can literally just feel it. It comes off of my chin, and it was like up to my lip, like it was pulling my mask straight off. On the second dive, we wrenched the mask onto my face as tight as we could get it safely, and I just jumped right back out in the water. I started to make my way down. I go to try and equalize, and the mask has a block in the nose piece that you push into your nostrils to try and equalize. And I go to do that, and it doesn't reach my nostrils.
I'm having a hard time equalizing, guys.
And by this point, I think I'm probably 10 feet, maybe 12 feet down. So I tried to pull the mask back down, but every time I did, it would break the seal. So I held the mask with one hand, and I just kind of gripped and climbed the hose with my other hand until I got up to the surface.
It's really hard because this mask is trying to come off, and I'm getting really tossed, and I can't problem solve all at the same time right now. I'm having a really hard time with it.
All right, well, Alex has got you.
Alex has got me.
So most brand new divers have equipment issues when they first start. Usually that's with the hot water system somehow. They got to get the spider set up properly, or they got to cut the right holes in their wetsuit. But Ross's problems are a little bit different. I've never seen a diver not be able to fit the mask on his head before. I don't know what it says about Ross yet. I'm a little suspicious that it's in his head somewhat. The first dive on the Bering Sea can be a really fearful thing. I mean, it took me a couple tries to get comfortable underwater. You know, you're on this washing machine of a hose, you're getting knocked around, the visibility's bad, you got this 60-pound weight vest on that makes it feel like you could fall to the ocean floor at any time. It's very disconcerting, you know, and I think that can come out as equipment issues sometimes. It could also be a problem with the mask that he can't fix. A bad first dive can turn a guy off this job for life. And so whether these issues are real or they're in Ross's head, the only thing that we know is he's gonna have to show the determination to make this work, or he's gonna have to go home.
I mean, at this point, now it just seems like as we solve one problem, another one comes up, and this one, I didn't really know how to solve it. But I told myself, basically, whatever I have to do to fix this, whatever I have to expense, whatever money I have to pay, whatever weird thing I have to try and do to fix this, I have to do it.
I'd say it this way to the new guy. We put you in a washing machine, we turn it on, and then we try to talk to you. This is not happening. All you're doing is going, whoa, 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 whoa.
Let's try this when it's calmer.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is,
Yeah.
Not something you want to do while you're getting jerked around.
I don't know if you can see this, but there's a giant log.
4-3 or 4.
Giant log headed for our buoy.
It's honestly the size of a telephone pole.
As we navigate through Nome's National Forest to get home, we have one question on our minds. Is Ross going to be able to overcome his gear issues? Or will he have to catch a flight back to Anchorage and quit his gold diving career before it begins? Dan's one of the best producers on the boat, but he's about to go home for a month, and we're gonna need Ross to step up and start putting gold in the box. If he can't, we're down to just one diver for the month of July, and we're gonna have a difficult time paying off our huge preseason investment. Click the top video to go to the next episode, or click the bottom to go back and see the $100,000 rebuild of the Eroica's hull.